Welcome back to English Chat Central, the podcast where we help you master the art of English conversation. I'm Alex.
And I'm Olivia. Today, we're diving into a fun and essential topic, mastering small talk. Whether you're at a party, a networking event, or just meeting new people, small talk can help you connect and build relationships.
That's right, Olivia. Small talk might seem trivial, but it's a crucial skill. Without it, making connections can be challenging, especially in a new environment or when meeting someone for the first time.
And don't worry if you're not naturally chatty or outgoing. Like any skill, small talk can be learned and practiced. We'll give you tips and examples to make you feel more confident in any social situation.
Absolutely, so grab a cup of coffee or tea, sit back, and let's get started on mastering small talk.
So, what exactly is small talk? Small talk is a light, informal conversation about unimportant or non-controversial matters, often used to fill silence and make social interactions more comfortable.
It's the kind of chat you have while waiting for the bus, during coffee breaks, or when meeting someone for the first time. It helps to build rapport and can lead to more meaningful conversations.
Think of small talk as a social lubricant. It helps to smooth out interactions and makes people feel more at ease. It's also a way to show interest in the other person and establish a connection.
Right, and it's not just about filling silence. Small talk can be a gateway to deeper conversations and stronger relationships. When you start with small talk, you can gauge the other person's interests and comfort level before diving into more personal or complex topics.
Exactly. And for English learners, mastering small talk can be a great way to practice speaking and listening skills in a low-pressure setting. It's a win-win.
Now, let's talk about why small talk is important. At first glance, it might seem like just a way to pass the time, but it serves several important purposes.
For one, it helps to break the ice and make social situations less awkward. When you meet someone new, starting with small talk can make both of you feel more comfortable and open to conversation.
Yes, and small talk can also be a way to build trust and rapport. By engaging in friendly, light-hearted conversation, you show that you're approachable and interested in the other person.
Another reason small talk is important is that it can lead to new opportunities. Whether it's a new friendship, a business connection, or even a job opportunity, small talk can open doors that might otherwise remain closed.
And let's not forget, small talk is a great way to practice and improve your language skills. It's a low-stakes environment where you can experiment with new vocabulary and phrases without worrying too much about making mistakes.
Absolutely. So even though small talk might seem insignificant, it's actually a powerful tool for building relationships and improving your communication skills.
Many people, especially English learners, feel nervous or anxious about making small talk. It's normal to feel that way, but there are strategies you can use to overcome this fear.
One of the best ways to reduce anxiety is to prepare in advance. Think about some topics or questions you can use to start a conversation. We'll share some examples later in the episode.
Another tip is to practice active listening. Instead of worrying about what you'll say next, focus on what the other person is saying. This takes the pressure off you and shows that you're genuinely interested in the conversation.
Also, remember that it's okay to make mistakes. Everyone does, and most people will be understanding and supportive, especially if they know you're learning a new language.
And don't forget to breathe and relax. Take a deep breath before you start speaking and remind yourself that it's just a conversation. You're not being judged, and there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Absolutely. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. So, let's move on to some practical tips and examples to help you get started with small talk.
One of the easiest ways to start a conversation is to talk about common topics that everyone can relate to. Here are some ideas to get you started.
First up, the weather. It's a classic small talk topic because it's something everyone experiences. You can say something like, "It's such a nice day today, isn't it?" Or, "I can't believe how much it's raining."
Another good topic is work or school. You can ask questions like, "What do you do for a living?" Or, "How's school going for you?" This can lead to more detailed conversations about their interests and experiences.
You can also talk about hobbies and interests. Asking someone about their favorite activities or what they like to do in their free time can open up a lot of possibilities for conversation.
Current events are another great topic. If there's a major news story or a popular TV show or movie, you can bring it up and ask for their thoughts. Just be sure to avoid controversial or sensitive topics.
Exactly, and don't forget about the power of compliments. Complimenting someone's outfit, accessories, or even their smile can be a great way to start a positive conversation.
These topics are just starting points. The key is to be genuine and show interest in the other person. Now, let's talk about how to keep the conversation going. Starting a conversation is one thing, but keeping it going can be challenging. Here are some tips to help you keep the conversation flowing smoothly.
One effective technique is to ask open-ended questions. These are questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. For example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" you can ask, "What did you do over the weekend?"
Another tip is to share a little about yourself. If the other person mentions something you can relate to, don't be afraid to share your own experiences. This can create a sense of connection and encourage them to open up more.
It's also important to pay attention to body language and facial expressions. If the other person seems interested and engaged, keep going. If they seem bored or distracted, it might be time to change the topic.
It's also important to pay attention to body language and facial expressions. If the other person seems interested and engaged, keep going. If they seem bored or distracted, it might be time to change the topic.
Finally, don't be afraid of pauses or silences. They can be natural and give both of you a moment to think. If there's a lull in the conversation, you can always refer back to one of the common topics we mentioned earlier.
Great advice, Olivia. Now let's discuss some specific questions and phrases you can use to start and maintain a conversation. Let's get into some practical phrases and questions that you can use to start and keep a conversation going. These can be especially helpful if you're feeling stuck or unsure of what to say.
One of the simplest and most effective questions is, "How are you?" It's a friendly way to start a conversation and shows that you care about the other person.
Another good question is, "What do you think about?" This can be about anything from a current event to a new movie. It invites the other person to share their opinion and can lead to a more in-depth discussion.
Another good question is, "What do you think about?" This can be about anything from a current event to a new movie. It invites the other person to share their opinion and can lead to a more in-depth discussion.
When it comes to keeping the conversation going, you can use phrases like, "That's interesting," "Tell me more," or "Really?" "How did that happen?" These show that you're engaged and want to hear more about what the other person is saying.
And don't forget to use positive reinforcement. Saying things like, "That's a great point," or "I never thought of it that way," can encourage the other person to keep talking and sharing their thoughts.
These phrases and questions are tools to help you navigate conversations more smoothly. Practice them and see which ones work best for you. Small talk can happen in various settings, and it's important to know how to adjust your approach depending on where you are. Let's explore some common scenarios.
At a social event, like a party or a gathering, people are usually more open to casual conversations. You can start with a simple introduction and then move on to topics like the event itself, mutual friends, or shared interests.
In a professional setting, like a networking event or a business meeting, the tone of the conversation might be more formal. You can start with introductions and then ask about their work, recent projects, or industry trends.
When you're traveling, small talk can be a great way to meet new people and learn about different cultures. You can ask locals for recommendations on places to visit or talk to fellow travelers about their experiences.
In everyday situations, like waiting in line or sitting in a waiting room, small talk can make the time pass more quickly and pleasantly. Simple comments about the situation, like "This line is moving slowly," can lead to a friendly exchange.
The key is to be aware of the context and adjust your conversation style accordingly. In more formal settings, keep the topics professional and respectful. In casual settings, you can be more relaxed and open.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some cultural differences in small talk and how to navigate them.
In many Western countries, like the US and the UK, small talk is quite common and often starts with topics like the weather, sports, or weekend plans. People tend to appreciate a friendly and informal approach.
In some Asian cultures, small talk might be more reserved and formal. Topics might include family, work, or food. It's also important to be respectful and avoid controversial topics.
In Latin American countries, small talk is often warm and enthusiastic. People might start with a friendly greeting and then move on to topics like family, hobbies, or recent events.
In some European countries, like Germany and the Netherlands, small talk can be more direct and to the point. People might appreciate a straightforward approach and might not engage in as much casual conversation.
Understanding these cultural differences can help you navigate small talk more effectively and avoid potential misunderstandings. If you're unsure, observe and follow the lead of the people around you.
Great point, Olivia. Let's now look at some common mistakes people make in small talk and how to avoid them. Even though small talk is meant to be simple and light, there are some common mistakes people make. Let's discuss these and how to avoid them.
One common mistake is talking too much about yourself. While it's important to share, make sure to balance the conversation by asking questions and showing interest in the other person.
Another mistake is bringing up controversial or sensitive topics. Avoid topics like politics, religion, or personal finances, especially when you're just getting to know someone.
It's also important to avoid negative or complaining comments. While it's okay to express a mild annoyance, constant negativity can turn people off and make the conversation less enjoyable.
Interrupting or not listening actively is another common mistake. Make sure to let the other person finish their thoughts and show that you're listening by nodding and responding appropriately.
Finally, be mindful of personal space and body language. Standing too close or appearing disinterested can make the other person uncomfortable. Respect their space and use positive body language to show you're engaged.
Avoiding these mistakes can help you have more successful and enjoyable conversations. Let's move on to some tips for ending a conversation gracefully. Ending a conversation can sometimes be awkward, but it doesn't have to be. Here are some tips for wrapping up a conversation smoothly.
One way to end a conversation is to thank the person for their time and mention that you enjoyed talking with them. You can say something like, "It was great talking to you. Thanks for the chat."
Another approach is to refer to a future event or follow-up. You could say, "Let's catch up again soon," or "I'll see you at the next meeting."
If you're at an event, you can use the context to end the conversation. For example, "I'm going to grab another drink," or "I need to say hi to a few more people, but it was great talking with you."
You can also use the time as a natural exit. Saying something like, "I need to get going, but it was nice chatting with you," works well. Great tips, Olivia. Now, let's discuss some advanced techniques for making small talk more engaging. Once you're comfortable with the basics of small talk, you can start using some advanced techniques to make your conversations even more engaging.
One technique is to use storytelling. Sharing a short, interesting story can make the conversation more memorable and give the other person a chance to share their own stories.
Another technique is to use humor. A light joke or funny observation can break the ice and make the conversation more enjoyable. Just be sure to keep it appropriate and sensitive to the other person's sense of humor.
You can also use mirroring, which means subtly mimicking the other person's body language and tone. This can create a sense of rapport and make the other person feel more comfortable.
Asking deeper questions can also make the conversation more engaging. Instead of just asking about their job, you could ask, "What do you enjoy most about your work?" or "What are you passionate about?"
Finally, be genuinely curious and open-minded. Showing a real interest in the other person's experiences and perspectives can make the conversation more meaningful for both of you.
These advanced techniques can take your small talk to the next level and help you build stronger connections. Let's move on to some real-life examples of small talk in action. To help you see these tips in action, let's go through some real-life examples of small talk. We'll start with a simple scenario, meeting someone at a party.
Imagine you're at a party and you meet someone new. You could start with, "Hi, I'm Olivia. How do you know the host?"
They might respond, "Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a friend from work." You could follow up with, "Oh, that's great. How long have you worked together?"
From there, you could ask about their job, what they like about it, and so on. This keeps the conversation flowing and helps you learn more about each other.
Another scenario could be at a coffee shop. You could start with, "Hi, do you come here often?"
If they say, "Yes, I love this place," you can ask, "What's your favorite thing on the menu?" This can lead to a conversation about coffee, favorite drinks, and more.
In a professional setting, you might start with, "Hi, I'm Alex. What brings you to this event?"
If they say, "I'm here to network," you can ask, "What line of work are you in?" This can open up a discussion about their industry, recent projects, and professional interests.
These examples show how easy it can be to start and maintain a conversation with simple, open-ended questions. Practice these scenarios and you'll become more comfortable with small talk. Practice is key to mastering small talk. The more you practice, the more confident and natural you'll become. Here are some ways to practice.
One effective method is to practice with a friend or language partner. You can take turns starting and maintaining a conversation and then give each other feedback. Another great way to practice is by joining social groups or clubs that interest you. This gives you a chance to meet new people and practice small talk in a comfortable setting.
You can also use online resources and apps designed for language learners. Many of these platforms have conversation practice features where you can chat with native speakers or other learners. Finally, don't forget to practice your listening skills. Pay attention to how others start and maintain conversations and try to incorporate what you learn into your own interactions. Practicing regularly will help you build confidence and improve your small talk skills over time. Let's now look at some resources for further learning. There are many resources available to help you improve your small talk skills. Here are some recommendations.
Practicing regularly will help you build confidence and improve your small talk skills over time. Let's now look at some resources for further learning. There are many resources available to help you improve your small talk skills. Here are some recommendations.
You can also find online courses and tutorials on platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and LinkedIn Learning. These courses often include video lessons, exercises, and quizzes to help you practice.
Podcasts and YouTube channels dedicated to language learning and communication skills can also be very helpful. Look for content that focuses on conversation practice and social skills.
Joining language exchange programs or conversation clubs can give you opportunities to practice with native speakers and other learners. Websites like Meetup and ConversationXing can help you find groups in your area.
Don't forget about mobile apps designed for language practice, like HelloTalk, Tandem, and Speaky. These apps connect you with people around the world for text, voice, and video conversations.
These resources can provide valuable guidance and practice opportunities to help you master small talk. Let's now discuss how to measure your progress. Measuring your progress in small talk can help you stay motivated and identify areas for improvement. Here are some tips on how to do this.
One way to measure progress is to keep a journal. Write down your experiences with small talk, including what went well and what you found challenging. This can help you see patterns and track your improvement over time.
You can also set specific goals for yourself. For example, aim to start a conversation with one new person each week or practice small talk for a certain amount of time each day.
Another way to measure progress is to get feedback from others. Ask friends, family, or language partners to give you honest feedback on your small talk skills and suggestions for improvement.
Pay attention to how you feel during and after conversations. Are you becoming more comfortable and confident? Are your conversations lasting longer or becoming more engaging?
You can also track your vocabulary and phrases. Keep a list of new words and expressions you learn and try to incorporate them into your conversations.
Measuring your progress can help you stay motivated and focused on your goals. Let's now address some common challenges and how to overcome them. Even with practice, you might encounter some common challenges in small talk. Let's discuss these challenges and how to overcome them.
One challenge is feeling shy or nervous. It's normal to feel this way, especially when speaking in a new language. Remember to take deep breaths, relax, and remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes.
Another challenge is dealing with awkward silences. If there's a lull in the conversation, don't panic. Use the opportunity to ask a new question or introduce a different topic.
You might also encounter people who are unresponsive or uninterested. In these cases, it's important not to take it personally. Some people might be shy themselves or simply not in the mood to talk.
Language barriers can also be a challenge if you're struggling to understand or be understood. Try to use simpler words and phrases. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification or repeat yourself if necessary.
Finally, cultural differences can sometimes cause misunderstandings. Be patient and open-minded, and take the time to learn about the cultural norms and expectations in different settings.
Overcoming these challenges takes practice and persistence. Let's now talk about the benefits of mastering small talk. Mastering small talk offers many benefits beyond just improving your language skills. Let's explore some of these benefits. It can also enhance your professional life. Being able to engage in small talk can help you network, make a good impression in interviews, and build rapport with colleagues and clients.
Small talk can boost your confidence. The more you practice, the more comfortable and self-assured you'll become in social situations.
It's also a great way to learn and share information. Through small talk, you can discover new ideas, gain different perspectives, and share your own knowledge and experiences.
Finally, small talk can make everyday interactions more enjoyable. Whether you're chatting with a neighbor, a cashier, or a fellow commuter, small talk can brighten your day and create positive connections.
The benefits of mastering small talk are numerous and can have a positive impact on many areas of your life. Let's now wrap up with some final tips and encouragement. As we wrap up today's episode, we want to leave you with some final tips and encouragement for mastering small talk.
Remember that small talk is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. Don't be discouraged if it feels challenging at first. The more you practice, the easier it will become.
Be patient with yourself. It's okay to make mistakes and have awkward moments. Each conversation is a learning opportunity that helps you improve.
Stay curious and open-minded, show genuine interest in others, and be willing to share a bit about yourself. This creates a positive and engaging conversation dynamic.
Use the resources we mentioned earlier to continue learning and practicing. Books, courses, apps, and language exchange programs can all provide valuable support.
And most importantly, have fun with it. Small talk is a way to connect with others and enjoy social interactions. Embrace the process and celebrate your progress.
You've got this. Keep practicing, stay positive, and you'll become a small talk master in no time. That's all for today's episode of English Chat Central. We hope you found our tips on mastering small talk helpful and inspiring.
Remember, small talk is a valuable skill that can enhance your personal and professional life. Keep practicing, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear about your experiences with small talk, so feel free to reach out to us on social media or through our website.
Thanks for joining us today. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember to have fun with your conversations.
Until next time, I'm Alex.
And I'm Olivia. Take care and happy chatting.